Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 60 of the 72 review. Flying through episodes at the minute. Only three of us on tonight. Jake's got family commitments, so he can't make it on this weekend. Probably a good thing because South Yorkshire football is still not very good. I don't think it's a coincidence that this show has been running while South Yorkshire football has been poor. We'll not put the dots together and we'll just continue working and hopefully it will improve in the future. If you're new to this channel and new to the show, please get your comments in. It does drive a lot of the conversation, but I will introduce some very familiar faces. Just to next to me is Ian from Over the Bar. Ian, let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
I'm a long-suffering Rotherham United season ticket holder, 61 years. And when the Millers are away, it's pointless going to their games because they lose every week anyway. So I vlog EFL games for Over the Bar and enjoy it, as a neutral.
Lovely stuff. And then below us too is Lee. Around the Grounds channel is doing extremely well. So it's nice that you're still frequenting this show on a Sunday. Hopefully you never leave us. Let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
I think it's how we're doing well because I don't cover Wednesday, mate. No, the only reason I set this channel up not to cover Wednesday, I think I'd be in a dark place if I just covered Sheffield Wednesday on my channel. But now, loving getting to games. I was at Preston Ipswich yesterday. Another goal fest to take in, and always.
I don't know how you do it.
I know. It's just I'm getting so lucky, mate. But no, I can't wait to get a few things off my chest later on.
Yeah, I think the Championship will be a bit of a focus this evening. So we're going to go League One, League Two, Championship. I'm not particularly happy with our performance yesterday, but a point is better than nothing. So we will get onto that. But we will start with League One. ATID is already in the chat. The one away. It's been a while apparently since the last one away. He cried. And he loves Whittaker. There we go.
I can double that for a Rotherham away win.
Okay, so let us get this on and League One banner. So starting with League One. As always, we do point people over to Ben Codd's Vlogs. He's got a League One deep dive at 8 o'clock. So if you do want a little bit more information on League One, obviously Rotherham and Wednesday are currently in the Championship. We're currently in League Two, but it's not looking great for any of our teams at the minute. Hopefully our fortunes do change. But yeah, because none of us cover League One particularly, we have a little flirt in and around it. But if you want, well, yeah, not yet. But if you want a little bit more detail, we do recommend going over to Ben's channel. He's a very good content creator. But yeah, start with Ian. Any League One games that you want to touch on, mate?
Just Steve Evans still doing the business at Stevenage. I think a lot of fans expected Stevenage to fall away after the start that they had. But they're still in and around the playoffs and they're having a fantastic season for the side of the club. A good win against a playoff rival in Blackpool. You just got to take your hat off to him. And I know his methods are a little bit suspect at times, but his players are playing for him. And another good win for them.
Yeah, it is indeed. I mean, Blackpool would be hoping to have bounced straight back, really. So a great victory for Stevenage, who got promoted last season. ATID said that he'll have to be the Championship guy next season. It's looking that way, mate, for sure.
I think we talked off camera, Ian, that if you get a good core group of lads that's all pulling in the right direction, don't matter if you've got superstars, I think it's a winning formula, and Steve Evans seems to have got that with Stevenage, doesn't he?
Team spirit can get you a long way. I mean, you need quality in your side as well, but if you can get a way and a system of playing that is actually effective, as Stevenage have proved, if they probably aren't the prettiest team to watch, I suspect not with them being a Steve Evans team, but they're certainly effective. And they're having a fantastic season. Top marks to them.
I'd agree with that. We've currently got 22 in the live, so thank you so much for giving up a bit of your Sunday evening. Get it liked, get it shared out there. The more people in here, the more people chat, and the more it gets out there, which is great. Any League One games that you want to touch on, mate?
Yeah, Peterborough getting beat by Wigan. I didn't see that one. What's that?
You've nicked mine that were on my list.
You know what? I'd pick this one out. I'm thinking when you'd asked Ian, I'm thinking I bet he'd nick mine.
Go on, mate. I'll let you have it.
Go on, mate. We can talk amongst us, mate.
You go first, pal. It's all yours.
No, but I really didn't see this one coming. Obviously, Wigan, cracking result from them. It ends Peterborough's good run. Puts a little dent in the promotion hopes. Obviously, Peterborough own the winning form, and yeah, it's a cracking result for Wigan. They hung on late at the end. I think Peterborough did too much, asked too much. Obviously, scoring too late to bring it back. But yeah, cracking result for Wigan.
Maloney's got them playing very good football. Wigan, they're a good side. Maloney's done very well there with the points deduction and everything.
Yeah, he has. I mean, I think the mid-table now, aren't they?
Yeah, which is fantastic, really. How many points did they get taken off?
8.
8, yeah.
Unbelievable. That's 2 wins, and they've clawed that back.
Yeah.
You never know. There might be a late season playoff push, but he's probably asking a little bit too much.
Yeah, we'll have a look at the table in a short while. Yeah, doing really well. I just had down that they've ended Posh's 22 game unbeaten run at home, which is incredible, that, isn't it? I think the last team to beat Peterborough at home were Wigan. I may be wrong with that though.
It'd be interesting to see how they fare now with the boy that's been sold. I don't know where he ended up. Jog my memory, lads. He went deadline day. Striker, I can't remember where he's gone now.
Charlie Wyke?
No,
Peterborough's. No, he's gone to us, yeah.
Right.
Oh, Johnson Clark Harris, has he gone?
No, not him, the other one. God. Someone get in comments because I've lost my memory here.
Help us out, we're having a mare.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's killing me, that now.
You've got to pick another one now, Dan.
MTFC, how did Fleetwood beat Vale 3-0? Yeah, that's a fantastic result as well. Nappers was extremely happy. It's been 3 months, I believe, since Fleetwood last won. So to come out of this one, I mean, they went 2-0 up last weekend. MTFC has come in with Mason Clark to Coventry. Is that right, Lee?
Yeah. I think you're
that's
right.
It. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, thank you very much.
Knew somebody.
I couldn't even tell you. See, my mind went that blank. I couldn't even tell you a team that he'd gone to. Just total brain freeze. And then I'm thinking, did he go?
Have I dreamt it?
Yeah, thank you very much.
But yeah, last weekend, Fleetwood went 2-0 up, and then I think they went down to 10 men and threw that lead away. So Nappers was on the edge once again, and I think when they went 2-0 up this weekend, he posted saying, "Just please hold on," and then they just put the icing on the cake late into stoppage time and rounded a good result off. And statistically as well, I mean, they've not had a lot of possession, but they've used that well with 12 shots, 8 on target, and they've kept Port Vale down to 10 shots, but only 1 on target. So yeah, decent own performance from them, and gets them back to winning ways after a long time. But I still think.
Also, it's put Port Vale looking over the shoulders. Yeah, they're in a very precarious position.
Yeah, I do think there's probably too much for Fleetwood to do to get out of it though. But it's nice to see a smile back on Ben's face.
Yeah, he was just a bitch yesterday, wasn't
he? Yeah. We've got John in the chat. Good day, gents. Happy Yorkshire Pudding Day. So I didn't notice this. My computer told me about it when I turned it on. There's a couple of Yorkshire puddings in bottom left-hand corner. And I didn't even know it were a day, to be fair. But yeah, happy Yorkshire Pudding Day.
And John actually watched Kes last Sunday straight after the show. Absolutely loved. Yeah, He dropped into my YouTube comments, said he loved it, and his teacher's the favourite character from it. But he says he needed subtitles to understand us Yorkshire folk.
To be fair, some of us need subtitles for that film.
Oh yeah.
Tell him to go to Barnsley. It's a completely different language there.
Yeah. Whippets are all walking around with flap caps on. Evening. Big lesson.
He has actually come back in the chat and said to John, thanks for the Kes tip. Brilliant film, even though I needed subtitles to watch it. Billy's a good lad. His brother Judson Nova, teacher Bobby Chatton classic too. Cheers, mate. Yeah. That's Kes in a nutshell. Love it.
It's the fact that he watched it straight after we said go and watch Kes. He literally right down tools. I'm off to watch it.
Yeah.
Evening, Lewis, as well. An MTFC, that's the most British thing I've heard. Yorkshire Pudding Day.
Yeah.
It's every Sunday Yorkshire Pudding Day, isn't it?
Why?
Well, it should be.
Right. Let's have a look at table before we move on to League Two. Starting down at the bottom, so Fleetwood's win leapfrogs them above Carlisle. But like I say, I still think they've probably got a bit too much to do to get out of the mess that they find themselves in after a poor run of form. Cheltenham and Reading make up the bottom four, but like you said, Ian, that result just makes Port Vale look over the shoulder.
Look at Charlton as well.
I'd suspect
that is incredible. That because they were in the top half of the table only about 3 weeks ago. They dropped like a stone.
They've got a new gaffer now, haven't they?
Yeah, Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jones, he turned us down because we offered him the job at Rotherham. He turned us down. But mind you, London's a pull, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. But I think Nathan Jones will get them out of it. I think Nathan Jones will get them out of it, but it's not looking good for Port Vale, and Reading are still on form, if you like. They've only lost one of the last 5. So, I mean, if Reading do get out of it, I'll be delighted with all the off-field problems that they've had.
And Carlisle's new signings don't seem to have kicked in at all yet, do they?
No, 5 defeats on the bounce in the last 5 is not great, is it?
No.
It's looking a bit precarious for them.
It is indeed. Moving towards the top of the table, we've got Pompey still leading the way, but holding on to it with the skin of the teeth at the minute. Obviously, Bolton have got a couple of games in hand, which would take them.
Look at Derby. Look at Derby have come up like a shot, haven't they?
Yeah, they were just outside.
No one knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think they'll be in and around it come the end of the season. Peterborough's defeat has dented their automatic hopes a little bit. And then obviously Barnsley drawing this weekend and Stevenage making up the top 6. So plenty of football still to play. I'm sure changes will happen in the table. Lovely stuff. Let's move on to League Two. We'll start down in London. Sutton against Doncaster. So obviously Doncaster's Twitter has just gone into meltdown over the last couple of weeks, and probably rightfully so to a certain extent. It's not been a great season. It's not been a great few years for Rovers fans, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse. There was an EFL announcement last week about a restriction on transfers for the next 3 windows because of a missed payment for a loanee. We believe that to be Todd Miller at Brighton. And then a £2,000 fine on top of that, which in footballing terms, £2,000 not a great deal. But a restriction on fees for transfers is damaging for the Rovers, even though we don't really spend a fee that often. It's normally free transfers and loans, so I don't think it will really impact our transfer business too much. But that has been suspended for the next 2, so it was only January where it was really live. We just need to keep on top of the finances and payments that we're doing, and we should be okay for the next 2 transfer windows, which I think for me, summer is massive. I think Grant McCann needs a huge amount of backing to build on this squad that he started to build and try and get the best out of them. It's not quite happened this season. For whatever reason, injuries, players still being here with a losing mentality. I can't put my finger on it. I was speaking to Lee on Saturday before the Stockport game. It just seems to be something wrong with the club. We've had numerous managers, loads of different players, and we're getting the same results. So it's got to be something else. And if that was David Blunt, then he's gone. So I think we need to see what happens in the summer. But onto this game, I think I've tried to be as balanced as possible over the weekend on Twitter. It's disappointing that we're celebrating a 96th minute equaliser at Sutton, and I don't want to sound that I feel like Doncaster are entitled to beat teams. You've got to earn every point, and you've got to work for every point in whatever division it is that you're in. And probably in the past, you probably look at teams like Barrow, Harrogate, Sutton, and we shouldn't be trying to compete with teams like this without sounding disrespectful. But for me, I strongly believe that Doncaster are a top-end League One team, and to be fighting in and around there. But I think years and years of mismanagement and underfunding has got us here, and it'll take a bit of time to get out of it, I think. We'll see what summer brings, but I'm just hoping that we are a League Two team. And I think this week could have been disastrous. Sutton played Harrogate midweek. If they'd beaten them, 7 points would have been cut to 4. And then if they'd have beaten us yesterday, that 4 points would have then been cut to 1. As it is, they ended up losing, and then we've drawn. So 7 points continues to be 7 points, which is 2 wins and a draw. They've only won 4 games all season. I think we're in the better position. It's in our hands to basically throw away. And I hope I've not jinxed it by saying that, and we end up having an absolute mare of an end to the season. But I think it could have been a much worse week.
Cool.
I mean, Lewis has come in and said it's where's that gone? Show that. It's hard to say why we're struggling so much. Just that losing culture. Maybe we'll take time. Yeah, I think we've got to be patient, and there's only so much patience football fans have. Cracking content has come in and said, really see us getting relegated. If that's to do with Donny, I hope we don't. I really hope we don't, because I think if we go down to National League, it'll be a real tough ask to get back into the Football League. But I do think we're in the better position. We've just got to try and win as many of his own games as possible, try and avoid defeat away from home, and just keep that cushion as 7 points and just write this season off and go again next season. But the frustrating thing on this one is on minute 1, there's an argument that we should have had a penalty. We should definitely had a penalty. It was Stonewaller on Senior, and then after that one, Sutton go up and take the lead. And for me, we shouldn't be leaning on referee decisions to win us games. We should have enough in us to break any team down if we want to progress. But we are where we are, and I think refereeing or official decisions do determine games to a certain extent. And one of those penalties is given, and the game's played completely differently, and there weren't. And I think a draw's. I'm happy with a draw away from home. If we draw our remaining away games and pick up a fair few points at home, we'll be fine. And I think that's everything I've got to say on this one. Let's have a quick look through the chat. I've had my little rant.
I've got a couple of questions for you when you're done, Dan.
Yeah, mate. It is to do with Donny. It is Donny fan himself, so he sees us getting relegated. I'm just hoping Forest Green and Sutton don't have enough to really put a run together and overtake us. Lewis has said players like Ironside are what you need. Battlers, yeah, completely agree.
Where would you have been without Ironside's goals?
I dread to think. NTFC 100% pen, but the ref won't get punished for it. Yeah, they're only human. They can't get everything right. We've got Finley in as well. Good evening, Finley.
Finley.
And NTFC said that Sutton need to turn draws into wins. Hopefully they don't. Okay, Lee, you had a couple of questions for me.
Yeah, obviously on Twitter mainly coming in from a lot of criticism from Bramall towards Bramall. What's your thoughts on him? Do you think he needs to go? Or?
It's a difficult one. So obviously Bramall's been the owner for quite a while now. Under his stewardship, we've we've gone backwards. But he's put people in positions that he trusts to do jobs, and I don't think they've been doing the jobs that they should be doing, which is why we've had winding up orders from HMRC. We've had this restrictions on transfers. I think he's probably trusted too much to certain people who are no longer there. So I think we need to give him summer and see what he actually delivers, because he's saying that he wants to see a championship club back in Doncaster. He needs to put his money where his mouth is, if that's the case, and we need to be signing players that have got clear ability at this level and proven ability. Yes, scattering the players like Owen Bailey, where we've gone to non-league and picked them up and the decent players. But I do think you need proven players at a level to succeed. But I do think he's probably just kind of left the reins to other people and trusted that they were doing the jobs, and unfortunately they've let him down. And I think he's made a decision to remove David Blunt. There's other people in the club that I believe have now left. So I think he's probably taking a more active role in it. So I think we need to give him an opportunity to show that he has made mistakes in the past. He's trusted stuff to other people who haven't done it for him. And yeah, he's got to deliver this summer. And if he doesn't, I think that's when I'd say it's time to go.
Yeah, and
I
just
think that's fair.
on the fan base, you think obviously it's not an ideal situation, and you think obviously coming into this season you're expected to be in and around the players. I think that's where the frustrations coming from. It's another poor season from Donny. I think that's where a lot of the, obviously you read Twitter and it's just like arguing and back and forth. I think you all need to just pull together now, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's it. I completely understand fans' frustrations, because we have gone backwards since in the last 4 or 5 seasons. I think somebody put on Twitter a graphic of our league positions over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's just been down every single time. We've finished lower every single season, so I can completely understand the frustrations and voice those frustrations. You're completely entitled to do so. I just think as a fan base, we probably need to look at the bigger picture sometimes, and not kind of focus on the here and now. But yeah, like I say, completely understand the frustrations at the same time. We've got a couple of more comments that have come in. We've got Bailey. Evening lads, another poor game yesterday, but the point is massive in the end. It was never going to be a pretty game and was always going to be a battle. Neither team deserved to win. Proved again how much Close is missed when he's not in the midfield. He's the only midfielder who can control the game and dictate play. Hopefully Westbrook's back as soon as possible and fills that void.
Is Close the one that he didn't get injured at Bradford? That's not him, is it? It's the other one.
Yeah, we had 3 injuries at Bradford. There were Molyneux, who was training last week. Close, they're still waiting on a prognosis for him. They thought it was an ACL, but it doesn't sound like it is, which is good news. But
Well,
still not
good
right.
news.
Who's the other lad in midfield? He played when we went to watch Gillingham. He played really well. I forget his name. What's his name?
Westbrook.
Is that his name?
Did he have blonde hair?
Biggins?
No. Centre midfield. He played in with Close, I think. Was that the same kid?
I think it'll be Westbrook, because Westbrook were doing really well, but he picked up an injury, so he's been out for a bit.
Yeah.
And that's just been our season as a whole. Too many injuries.
Yeah.
Lewis has said that we need to keep the same defence. We switch about a lot, and that doesn't. He thinks that doesn't help. Yeah, you need to be settled, really. My dad keeps saying that we're never going to get relegated. I keep saying to him we're going to get closer to it. Need a good run of games together. Hopefully January signings come through. We are close.
Sounds like me and my dad, but just certain. My dad says we're going to get relegated, and I try to keep positive as much as I can. My dad just calls me an idiot.
Cracking content says owners need to go. End of. No ambition for the club, no matter what the owner says, no matter what anyone says. So that's what he thinks of.
Yeah, but having said that, who's going to take it over?
Yeah, you never know, do you?
It's not exactly the most. I mean, we have the same problem with Rotherham. We have people on Twitter saying Tony Stewart should go, and I don't see any Saudi billionaires or Hollywood A-listers hanging around. Do you?
No.
Yeah.
Nice, like. Lewis
Yeah,
is saying
well,
that
yeah.
Donny City have better owners, and he's not kidding. Oh, I disagree with that. This is the Willie McKay that started the. There was like an experiment at Donny. I don't know if you guys remember it. It was a number of seasons ago. We were looking like we were going to get relegated out of the Championship, and he brought in this experiment to bring players in from the Premier League who were kind of out of favour,
Yes.
getting back into the shop window.
I remember it. Didn't they bring? Oh,
Pascal Chimbonda.
What,
Jim
is there
Bondi,
only-
yeah.
Is there only of them now?
I believe so. Yeah.
Really? What, Donny
Yeah.
City?
Yeah, I think he were involved with the kid who ended up in the plane crash at Cardiff as well. I think he were part of that. So, sorry, Lewis, I disagree. I don't want anybody like that anywhere near my club.
It's all about opinions.
It
But
is.
no, it's a big point. I think you'd have snapped your hand off, wouldn't you, before this? To obviously just not get beaten, just stabilise after a bad loss last weekend.
Yeah, and that's it. I think after the 5-1 defeat, we needed something to make sure that we stopped that rot to a certain extent. Cracking Content says Mike Ashley has something to do with Donny City as well. Again, another fantastic owner in football. Just ask Newcastle fans.
I might stop watching them on YouTube. I didn't realise all this. couple of players I used to manage play for them, you see, so I just always tune in, but I didn't know that they were involved in them.
Yeah, I mean, good luck to them. They've set up a team, and I think if you dig deep enough on any owner, I think you probably find dirt. But I think Mike Ashley and Willie McKay, probably two people that we don't want anywhere near our club, but that's just my opinion. Any League Two games that you guys want to touch on? Obviously, I've rambled on about Rovers quite a bit.
There's one that really made me laugh, and that was this class of '92 beating Hollywood FC.
Go on, Ian, take it away.
Yeah,
And Ian's just nicked mine.
yeah, what a result for Salford. I mean, Wrexham aren't great shakes away from home, we know that, but it's a brilliant result for Salford. And they seem to have picked up a lot since the change of manager. And Matt Smith scoring again, the big unit that we talked about last week. And it was an header, obviously. But yeah, it looks like with these stats, they deserved it.
Unbeaten in
Yeah.
5 now, Salford as well now.
Yeah. And Wrexham obviously sold the away hand out, so it's not all going plain sailing for them.
Love Salford.
I bet Sky loved that because it were the two clubs that they were in love with. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good fixture for them, but no, a fantastic result for Salford. It
Yeah.
does dent Wrexham's automatic hopes a little bit. It's still very tight up at the top of the table, but in Wrexham's sorrow, Barrow succeeded, didn't they? With a great 1-0 win over MK Dons, which jumps them back up into the automatic spots. And Barrow, for me,
very good side. Very good side, Barrow.
Yeah. But
yeah, I saw them last week at Notts, and they should have beaten Notts. Yeah, they should have beaten Notts, but they obviously missed the chances. But yeah, I expected them to beat MK, to be honest with.
Yeah, I mean,
Cole
Jonathan's in the chat with the other 72 review lads, and he wasn't particularly looking forward to this game. He was a little nervous about it, and he wanted to use it really as a benchmark to see where MK Dons were and how far they've come on. And I think they've held their own, haven't they? But just that bit of quality in Cole Stockton is just the difference in the two teams on the day.
Well, he's a typical effective League Two striker, isn't he, Cole Stockton? I mean, he did it at Morecambe. He lost his way a bit, at the beginning of this season, but he's always going to score goals.
Yeah, he is. Bailey's come into the chat with the experiment season.
Diouf. I remember Diouf, yeah.
Bonda, Abi Baye, Piquion, Harita Ilunga, Lucas Neal, Lamine Diatta.
Yeah, so sport. Yeah.
That's some names, isn't it? We need Eves Trust to be on blower to some of these boys.
Oh yeah.
Right, Lee. Any League Two games that you want to touch on before we head into the Championship?
No, I think we're about there. Obviously, just Mansfield winning the big derby.
Massive result.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We've said it a few times. Can it be finally their year? They look like they're meaning business this year. They've recruited well and got that experience in. Notts County stuttering late. Obviously, new manager in. Is it going to cost them? They obviously concede goals, but seem to have dried up a little bit now as well. And I expected a goal fest in this one, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Notts County, they've scored plenty. They've conceded plenty, haven't they? So a 1-0 was a bit of a surprising result. MTFC comes in with Davies. What a finish! So there we go. I think the one game that I wanted to touch on. Well, there's a couple. Obviously, Harrogate, superb draw at Stockport, and I think we were talking before we came live that they're one of the dark horses for a bit of a run to the playoffs, and with the squad that they've got, I think it's an incredible season, isn't it?
We can talk about Harrogate as possible playoff contenders now, because of the run they've been on.
I mean, statistically, they've been absolutely peppered, haven't they? 20 shots, 5 on target, and Harrogate have had 4 with 2 on target and the bagged one. So, decent return on the little of the ball that they had, and ultimately, that's all you need to do, isn't it? Put the ball in the back of the net. It doesn't matter if you've got pretty football or whatever. MTFC believes that Harrogate will drop off, possibly.
Possibly.
I think we will see. Another one that I wanted to touch on was Colchester against Forest Green, just because I'm worried that Colchester are going to finish above us.
I bet you did a little cheeky fifth bump when that 3-3 went in, mate.
Oh, do you know what? I was buzzing at 2-0. But then I was like, that's a bad result for us. We need Forest Green to probably draw or lose. And then in them 5 crazy minutes where Colchester turned it around, I thought my Twitter's going to get some absolutely battered. It's just going to get some hammer in here. And then obviously Dominic Thompson rescues a point. And really it's a result that Forest Green didn't need. And it keeps Colchester well and truly in the mix as well. So yeah, it's like nobody wants to stay in the league at the minute. Let's have a quick look at the league table. So those results, the bottom 5 all drawing. Obviously, the bottom 4 all played each other. So just draws didn't help anybody, really, did they?
As you were.
Yeah, exactly that. Forest Green still bottom on 20 points. Sutton, second bottom on 22. And then there's a 7-point gap to Doncaster and Colchester. So yeah, it's between those 4, isn't it? One of these 2 goes on a run. Colchester or Donny don't continue to pick up points where they need to, and it could be very worrying times coming into the end of the season. I'm worried, for sure.
I mean, Grimsby could get sucked into it. They're still on the same points as Colchester and Donny.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
And nobody's mentioned Grimsby in conversation.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy with that.
I think they're good for you. I've got a little bit of a buffer, haven't you?
Yeah.
I love your way with words, ATID. It's great. But yeah, that 7-point buffer is massive when you look at the 2 teams below us. They've only won 4 games each. Plenty of draws between them, but yeah,
I think with that bumper, I think it makes that. I didn't realise it with that bumper that you had over. I think it makes that point even like bigger. Because had you lost that,
point. Yeah,
it could be the most important goal that Donny scored all season.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right, but I don't want to count all my chickens yet. But yeah, I normally think of goal difference as well being an extra point, but we concede a lot. We don't score many, so goal difference ain't really a positive for us at the minute either. So I think 7 points, keep that buffer, move on to next season.
Yeah. Who's next for you, Dan?
We've got Tranmere next week, so they've started to pick up a little bit. Then we've got Salford on the 13th, and then Grimsby, and then Wimbledon. So we've got a couple of winnable games on paper because they're in and around us. But Grimsby and Salford are both away, and our away form's been dreadful. Tranmere's at home. So I think if we can get 5 points out of those, I'd be happy.
I'll stay away, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't you dare come to any of those games.
You'll be filming and you'll just clock me at left ear. What are you doing here?
Stick you off at head, put you in boot, and drive you as far away as possible. Onto the top of the table, Stockport still leading the way with a 4-point gap. Mansfield up to second. Like we say, hopefully it's their season this season, and they're not going to fall at the final hurdle like they've done so many times. Barrow doing superbly in third. Wrexham, Crewe, MK Dons, and Notts County all make up the playoffs, but Harrogate are on Notts County's tails out of the same points. What a fantastic season they're having, with Wimbledon just behind them as well. So yeah, it's decent. Sid said that you're welcome at the Valley Parade, mate. Certainly are. Every time you see Bradford, the win, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, moving on to the Championship. 2 poor results for you boys. Who wants to start, Rotherham or Sheff Wednesday?
Well, before I get my thoughts together, I'll let Lee go first.
Right, Lee. Here's a question for you. Do you want to cover the Huddersfield Sheff Wednesday game, or do you want to start at the game that you went to, Preston versus Ipswich?
Yeah, go on. We'll start with that one.
Preston, yeah?
Yeah. We'll start with Preston.
The floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, mate. A game I went to Deepdale Saturday. Both teams not in the greatest of form. I think they're both looking at it. Both won one in the last 5. Obviously, Preston's start to the season, but they've stuttered late and getting quite frustrated with the manager. Ipswich, they're frustrated, obviously, but they've recruited fairly well. Obviously, Moore and the lad from Wimbledon. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name.
Al Hamadi.
Is that the one? Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, but I think on paper, Ipswich were favourites going into it, but credit to Preston. They come out with a game plan, obviously, Preston, and it worked a treat. 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. Absolutely got at Ipswich, forced the mistakes out of them, and Ipswich tried to do a little bit too much at times, playing from the back, and 2 mistakes obviously proved that they'd scored them 2 goals early on, and it just made it a tough task for Ipswich. But they carried on trying to play it from the back, and just they were a bit sluggish on the ball. Ipswich fans got quite frustrated. I think what they were lacking is the Moore type character to play off. The Jackson, he just didn't. He wasn't really a target man. So there were no outlet for him. They were just too sluggish and just pressed in numbers, and then got the 3rd goal, and they were good value for it, to be honest, going into half time.
That was a bit of a mouthful, wasn't it? Pressed in numbers.
There you go. Yeah, did I do it? Yeah.
You did well there.
We don't get catchphrases now.
At best of times I waffle, mate. So yeah, I'm quite proud of myself there. But now going into half time, credit to Preston, they didn't allow Ipswich to play the game, and yeah, good value. Changes come half time, new signings come on, and you can tell more straight away difference. Holding it up, he's such a presence, and he's going to be a fantastic signing for him. But I think with the 3-0 deficit, I think it was just too much of a task to bring back. But they dug in and got 2 goals, and it were a nervy finish towards the end. And yeah, Preston hung in. I think So I think what the frustration was with Preston fans is they seem to like get 1 or 2 up, obviously with 3-0, but he rings a change and then goes a little bit negative and invites the pressure instead of going at Ipswich, which they did. I think Ipswich are acceptable for the counter, so that's where the frustration, where he took the changes, and yeah, it was just too much for Ipswich on the day, and it left their fans quite frustrated. Obviously, Leeds and Southampton both winning.
Yeah, that's it. John said Ipswich on a little wobble. Can't see them getting second, but they need to get back on form. Can't afford to limp into the playoffs. Completely agree. John, done and dusted, Dan, got to run. Up the sheepshaggers. Love it, John. Have a good weekend, mate. But yeah, you mentioned that kind of Preston went 3-0 up and probably took foot off at gas a little bit. Ipswich were there for taking, probably.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're 3-0 up, they're going to have to come out. They're always going to happen at half time where they come at Preston because they couldn't have played any worse than what they did. So it always going to happen. I thought if they maybe just kept the team as it was, I think there could have been more goals for Preston, obviously, on the counter attack. But yeah, it was a nervy end for them. But yeah, they hung on, and overall, I think worthy winners. Having watched Ipswich, I think that's where their Achilles heel is away from home. I think sometimes they've not played amazing. I think it was Rotherham we went to, Ian, and I don't think they were that good on the day.
No, they weren't. No. In fact, I think we probably should have beaten them, but we didn't. We've got a draw. Yeah.
I mean, at home, there's no stopping them. They're a force, but away, they seem to just be a bit sluggish on ball. They're not moving it as quick as you'd like, and it just make it a little bit easier for teams to defend. I think you've got to pass with a purpose, and they just missed that more. If they'd have started him, I think it'd have been a totally different game because he's going to be such a big signing for them. He's just a unit, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He were when he were with us. We had him on loan a few seasons ago, and he couldn't. I think he played 16 games for us and got 12 goals.
Yeah, it's the scrappy stuff he does. Like he'll win balls that he shouldn't be winning, just nod-ons and flick downs and just little touches around the corner for the wingers to attack. But yeah, he'll be a massive signing, and I can see him definitely starting the next game against West Brom, which is a tough game.
It is.
Yeah, it's a massive game for him, I know. And West Brom,
Not a great weekend for Rotherham or Wednesday. QPR 1-2-1. Obviously, Huddersfield beat Wednesday 4-0. But before we go into that rant, Ian, take it away with Rotherham 0, Southampton 2.
Well, to be quite honest, I didn't expect anything from this game. But one of the funniest comments I've ever heard at a football ground were when a Millers fan coming out of the ground yesterday said, "Well, that's it then. We need snookers," and I just thought that were hilarious. But getting back to the game, Southampton are by far the best Championship side I've seen this season so far. They are superb. Smallbone, who don't get a lot of plaudits in centre mid, brilliant. Both Armstrongs, Adam and Stewart, very good players. Solid at the back. Walker-Peters, Bedenek, they just don't seem to have many faults at all. No. Ryan Fraser on the right-hand side, on the right wing, roasted our fullback. More or less every chance he got. I mean, we didn't start very well. We conceded in the first 3 minutes. It was a Ryan Fraser corner that wasn't cleared properly. We just headed up in the air, and Bedenek just sent a looping header over Johansson, 1-0. And Southampton controlled the entire first half. They scored a very good second goal. It was just a nice team move. Just pass. They squared it and in by Adam Armstrong, 2-0. Then Ryan Fraser hit the post, and we went in at half time, a bit thankful that it were only 2-0. I think Southampton took the foot off the gas a little bit on second half, and we came a little bit more into it and had one or two opportunities, more half chances than actual chances. We made 3 signings on deadline day, and they were all on the bench, which is understandable because they've not trained with the rest of the team. So I do understand that. But I think Charlie Mike might be a good player for us. You know, if we can get him up to speed, we need goals. But as far as I see, we're doomed. So what we really ought to do is try and bed players in and try and get a system of play together for when we go into League One. But we were schooled yesterday by an exceptionally good Southampton side, and a side that I think could definitely get second, but possibly challenge Leicester for the actual championship.
Yeah, John agrees with you, Ian. Fancy Southampton to chase Leicester down at this rate. It'd be nice to have a little title race, as I don't see anybody catching either.
No, I agree.
Leeds are in and around it,
Completely
aren't they? But yeah, it's looking like they'll be the two that go up, and it's which way round they are, isn't it?
Yeah, because I can't see Leicester not going up. And to be honest, to the same thing, I can't see Southampton not going up. They've got 23 matches now unbeaten. They were last beaten at the end of September. That's a hell of a record, that.
Yeah. A question's come in for you as well, Ian. Bailey's asked before I go to that question. Don't know if you spoke about it before he joined. Have you seen the video of the Donny fan on Praise or Grumble yesterday? If you're watching this, you've not seen it, I will tweet it. So follow my Twitter. It's a wonderful, it's a wonderful phone call in. It makes no sense whatsoever, but it's just in a season of misery, in many seasons of misery as a Donny fan. I think you just have to hold on to these little gems that come through. It's fantastic.
I think it's Rob Staten's response.
I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, and then he goes, "That's probably my weirdest phone call I've ever had."
Oh, I need to see this. I need to see it. Yeah.
Right. I will make a note. Retweet Radio Chef. So yeah, get onto my Twitter after the show, and I will make sure that there's some sort of retweet for that.
But as far as the season's going, it's over now. I mean, the management and the players can say all the positivity that they like, but we're not going to get out of this. We're 12 points from safety, and we just can't win. Finances dictate we haven't got the fight. I mean, look at the Southampton side that were fielded yesterday. It's absolutely chock full of internationals. You know, multi-million-pound worth players. How can we compete with this? We can't.
No. The question, what was aimed at you though, Ian, was from Bailey. He thinks Charlie White's a good signing for Rotherham. What are your thoughts on Georgie Kelly leaving? Seen a few of your fans unhappy about it.
Well,
so
as far as George, I'll take Georgie first. Yeah, I'm a little bit upset to see him leave because he was an impact player. I mean, he scored 6 goals for us in, I think it's 38 appearances since he moved over from Ireland. And I think 4 of them 6 goals have been from off the bench. For whatever reason, both Matt Taylor and Liam Richardson didn't fancy him. You know, they didn't rate him. But he'll definitely do a job for Carlisle in League 2. They're going to League 2. But as far as George is concerned, he's got himself a 3.5-year contract there. You can't turn that down at any EFL club. It gives his family financial security. And I think he'll do a really good job up there at Carlisle. We were sorry to see him go because he was a bit of a cult hero at Rotherham with the promotion-winning goal at Gillingham a couple of years ago. Charlie White, he's reunited with Liam Richardson, who is his old gaffer at Wigan. He's an old-fashioned muck and bullet centre forward that gets involved, wins his share of headers, and he can play as well. He's not too bad on the ground. Unfortunately, we've only got him on loan until the end of the season, but I do understand his contract's up. at Wigan. So he might, if he does well, he might earn himself a contract. And I think he'll do a good job in League One.
Yeah, he will. Very good player.
Yeah.
Talking about the little gems during seasons of misery, ATID remembers the shot of the month video that was put out rather than goal of the month because we didn't score a goal in the full calendar month. So somebody put a video together of a shot of the month.
Yeah.
Good old gallows humour.
We do a lap of honour when we get a corner.
Love it. And Bailey's fired another question into the panel. Now the transfer window's closed, do you think your clubs have come out of the window better or worse than you went in? Lee, we'll start with Wednesday.
Well, worse. We needed signings. We needed positions to be filled, and we've not done it. It's been a very frustrating January, to say the least. Yeah, we brought bodies in, but not. I think we just brought them in for the sake of bringing them without really thinking about improving the squad. You need to bring players in that's going to slot into the starting 11 and make you better. Yeah, it's not happened.
Has it not even been a recruitment that's looking with one eye towards League One next season, or not?
No, I think they've just plucked names out of that, mate, if I'm honest.
That's not good.
I mean, we were linked with a kid from USA, Blackburn. Well, that's gone tits up for them, I think. But yeah, it's just frustrating. I mean, we needed a midfielder, defender, someone that put the ball in the net, and we've just not done it. It's frustrating, mate. Really is.
Not good. Ian, Rotherham, slightly better or worse?
Well, we at 10 to 11 on Thursday, we hadn't signed anybody. And 3 came through the door in the last 10 minutes. We've let Dexter Lumbisika go right back. He was Wolves. He was with Wolves. We got him on loan, and he's gone up to the SPL with Hearts, and I didn't rate him at all. So we bought in a right back from Sheffield United on loan, Sariki. Don't know much about him. He's only a 19-year-old kid. But he's like for like right back. We've let Georgie Kelly go to Carlisle, as we've already discussed, and we've got Charlie Wykin. So I think that is a slight improvement. And we've also brought in Andy Rinamoto, I think they call him, Rinamoto from Cardiff, who's a defensive midfielder. But we needed a defensive midfielder because the guy that we're playing in that position, which is Hakeem Murdofin, has gone to centre half now and doing a really good job, partnering Sean Morrison. So yeah, slightly better.
Yeah,
I would say.
Lee's worse. Ian's slightly better. I think Donny are pretty much middling. I don't think we're particularly improved, but I don't think we've got worse either. Obviously, Mo Farr leaving and ending his loan and going to Walsall. He scored some goals for us, but it was only a loanee anyway. So for me, I think we've added a few players that could improve us. Adelaide, Waters, but
Adelaide could turn out to be a damn good signing. Yeah, because I rated him when he was on loan at Rotherham, and I thought it were pretty good.
I don't think he showed much yesterday, though. So time will tell with them, but I don't think we've got much better or much worse this January.
Yeah.
Lee, take us away in a 6-pointer. I think this has put the nail in the coffin for Wednesday and Rotherham. And talk us through this defeat.
The day of a disaster.
Disaster.
Yeah, I sort of feared the worst going into this one, if I'm honest. With what's gone on in January, obviously, I've just mentioned recruitment's not been great. So yeah, I kind of feared the worst, but it just topped the day off, and I didn't expect it to be this bad. I think first half we were all right. We started quite bright, couple of chances, one cleared off the line, but then after half time, just disaster. A spell of 10 to 20 minutes, just players not playing for the shirt and just not not giving up their all. I mean, first goal has come from a corner. Masaba's picking up centre half, absolute madness, and he's just got the jump on him. So whose decision for him to pick him up were just crazy. And then it just got worse. Every goal, it was just calamity day.
I mean, to be quite honestly, that fourth goal was an absolute joke, weren't it?
Yeah,
For me,
the third goal
players colliding with each other.
Yeah, and the third goal topped it for me, I think. So second goal, it's just a ball through. I think all the 3 goals were identical after that. It was just non-existent defending. Second goal through the middle, just nothing there. The third goal really got me riled watching the highlights. They win a free kick. The body language of the Wednesday players were just trotting back. No one wanted to get in. And how many times have you seen players stand over the ball just to stop and taking a quick free kick? Just didn't happen. Players just turned around, no effort to get back in, and he's just pinged the ball straight over the left back's head, and he's just put it away. And then that fourth goal, it was just keepers falling over defenders, a bad pass back. It was just a disaster. And it just sums up a bad summer that we had, recruitment. We've got a League One team at best. I think even if this team were to go into League One, I think it'd struggle. I don't think it'd bounce back. We all knew what we needed coming up from that playoff win. We needed energy. The team's too old, and we needed to trim that average age down, and we've not done it. Obviously, the owners just ballsed up any planning, any positivity that we had coming up from last season. Absolute memories that I'll always hold, obviously, with that semi-final win and then the Wembley win. He's just gone because he's just absolutely just ripped the heart and soul out of this club. And a lot we're getting at Danny yesterday. Yeah, he's young, he's naive, he's still learning the game. I think it's harsh, if I'm honest. He's been dealt with the cards that he's been given. Obviously, we went on that run where we didn't win a game for how many games at the start of the season. That's killed us. He's got us within some sort of touching distance, but it was always going to be hard coming up after the summer we had, and it's just frustrating. And you can't excuse, exactly. And I'll be honest, I can't see. I don't think he'll stick around, if I'm honest, because I just think that owner is just a nightmare to work with.
Yeah. I think that's your main problem at Hillsborough.
Yeah,
that is your main problem.
And under him, I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's going to get a lot worse for Sheffield Wednesday. A lot worse. You always have to look at Reading. Owner, they're just stubborn. They don't want to admit they're wrong. They always blame others. They always blame the fans. It's just frustrating, mate. Really is.
John's looking forward to Friday after seeing the highlights of the Wednesday game. I think that's it. When you see some of the goals that you conceded yesterday, any team that you're coming up against in the next couple of weeks will look at that and be rubbing their hands together, won't they?
Yeah, and the frustrating is we played Watford Wednesday. We should have won. We played really well. We just didn't take chances. So just to come to that yesterday and the lack of effort, players need to take responsibility as well, I think.
I saw highlights at Watford game, and I thought Wednesday played really well.
We did, did play well. It's just frustrating, and I think that is the nail in the coffin now. I think we've made it too hard for ourselves. Yeah.
Anthony's dropped in at the right time. He's Huddersfield fan that comes to Rovers games with me, good mate at work. You were asking what order we were doing it in. He wanted to make sure that he saw this. I think obviously.
I hope he went yesterday.
He said that Wednesday to win at half time. So I think it must have been a relatively even game, and then just 12 minutes of madness has
Yeah.
probably put
Yeah.
a bit of a shine on
If you look at
scoreline and made it look worse than what
If
it
you
is.
look at the stats, it looks even.
Wednesday
Yeah.
got more at ball, similar shots.
You concede a goal, it happens, but you just have to tighten up and just see that 5-10 minutes and then get yourself back into it. But just it's better defending on a Sunday morning down the local park.
They've conceded that one and capitulated, haven't they?
Yeah, and if you see the highlights, it's that third goal for me. Stand on the ball, take a yellow, and just stop him playing that pass till you're back in.
Yeah.
Don't let him play that pass, and it's just so frustrating.
Yeah. Anthony said it was definitely better than the away game. I can vouch for that because I went and watched that one. It were a 0-0, and I don't think there were a shot on target. He says Pedersen was shocking. There we go.
Pedersen, to be fair to him, he got chucked in because apparently I don't know if it's true, Johnson's down tools because he didn't get his move to Ipswich, but he reported that he were injured. How true it is, I don't know. So we guess we'll see Friday if he's back in or not.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, if that's the case, he's down tools. I'd let him rot in the reserves because I'm no time for any player that does that.
It's a bit like us with Daniel Ayala. He got sent off twice in 2 weeks for us, and he's on a contract till the end of the season. And apparently, mysteriously, he's injured now. I think Liam Richardson just told him to do one. So,
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Yeah, I think you need to stay away from we've got a lot of them. I call them wage donkeys. They're just there. They're not bothered about playing for the club. They're just there to pick up a wage.
We've got 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
We've got 2 or 3 of them. We've got Grant Hall who's injured. We've got Daniel Ayala who's in. It's all BS. And what we ought to do is just clear all the mercenaries out at the end of the season and get somebody that actually wants to play for the club.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Certainly hope he dropped in his break.
Yeah. One point I'd like to put to John Morrell. You talk about signings for the transfer window. What about Alex Pritchard going to Birmingham? That's a fantastic move, that. Because he is a player.
Yeah. I've just noticed that we are now over an hour. That hour's absolutely flown. So thank you, everybody, for getting involved in the chat and stuff and keeping stuff moving. I think we'll finish on Swansea against Plymouth. Obviously, ATID has been very active in the chat, so it's only nice that we finish on a positive for the 72 review community. And he said yesterday's match, the stats will show we battered, we were battered and shithoused it massively, but that's the way we needed. 456 days since a Saturday 3 p.m. win, and boy, it felt special. So yeah, looking at the stats, absolutely under the cosh, weren't they? 28% possession.
I saw Jerry Yates, Mr. Sitter near Ellen, didn't he? Which one's it? Mr. Absolute Sitter.
Yeah. But yeah, Swansea, 72% of the ball, 20 shots, only 4 on target, which is not good.
Yeah, but that's what Swansea do.
Yeah.
That's what Swansea do. Yeah.
Pass the air out of the ball and don't do much with it. But no, fantastic win for Plymouth. And it just gives them that bit of breathing space towards the bottom, doesn't it?
They'll be fine, Plymouth. I don't know what all the actual fuss were about. I think I said mid-table, and that's where they'll end up.
Yeah, they're too strong at home. I think they're a tough side to beat when they're at home.
Yeah.
Obviously not amazing away, but yeah, I won't worry.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, there's plenty of traffic between them and the bottom 3, isn't there? For them to get dragged back into it, you've got to see all of these teams winning and putting a run together, which they're probably not going to do. I
mean, the one that's against Stoke, another manager that's going in there, and he's not doing something toward there. It's not. It's got to be above, because how many managers are going to keep trying and keep failing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't always be the manager.
I mean, they're not out they're not out of it by any means. Stoke or Birmingham will be okay, I think now. But Stoke are in no sort of form at all. I mean, they can't play us every week. It probably will be an all Yorkshire relegation.
Yeah, if QPR start to pick up points, Huddersfield could still get dragged into that bottom three for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, big game on Friday, Sheffield Wednesday against Birmingham. I think if you boys win, Lee, it certainly drags them even more into worrying territory, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the other bonus we touched on off Huddersfield, I think, play Southampton. So
yeah, they're not going to get anything from Southampton.
No, and like I said, Birmingham's definitely no gimme now. Mowbray's in there. I think they're going to start picking up wins, definitely.
Yeah. And John said that Birmingham's next two are Wednesday and Blackburn, so Blackburn just above them. Couple of very, very vital games in the next couple of weeks for them.
How long does John Dale Thomason have? I think he's on his last legs.
Yeah.
Depends on Venky's, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because they make some really strange decisions, them.
Yeah, they do indeed. Top of the table, Leicester running away with it, really, aren't they? Southampton, we say they could catch them up, but I can't see Leicester being caught.
I can't see it now.
No.
Yeah.
But I can see Southampton getting second.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a game in hand over Leeds, which could be really important, but I think the only team really out of those that I'm looking at who could probably pip them to second is Leeds, with that run of form at the minute. Ipswich just dropped off a little bit, and like somebody said earlier in the chat, they need to find a bit of form so that they're not limping into the playoffs. If they're going to stand any sort of chance of, you've got to go in a bit of form, haven't you, in the lottery that is the playoffs. West Brom and Hull make up the playoffs. We've got Coventry and Sunderland and Norwich just outside, all on 44 points.
Norwich are coming with a bit of a run, aren't they?
Yeah. So as always, I think it'll be to the final day, and there'll be a number of teams in the running for the final playoff spot.
Yeah.
Cracking stuff. Right, let's finish off with the good old predictions. Let's get them on.
Get in there, 1-1.
I had a mare.
Predictions. I think, Lee, you had one of the better weeks. I think you were the best this week with 5 points, so you've clawed a bit of space back. But the top of the table seems pretty set with Neil, Ian, Bailey, Adam, and Liam. The bottom of the table seems pretty set with no movement there, but there's plenty of movement in the middle of the table with everybody pretty much swapping about, apart from Lizzie, who remains on 47 points. So looking for next week's predictions. Ian, we'll start with you, mate. We've got Sheffield Wednesday versus Birmingham.
Vital game for both clubs. I'm going on an unhelpful 1-1 draw that will do neither club any good, really.
I've gone 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday in that one. Your club, Leeds versus Rotherham.
Well, it's going to break my heart again, but I'm going to say 4-0 Leeds.
That big?
Yeah.
I've gone 2-0 Leeds.
You don't know how crap we are.
For League One this week, we are going Port Vale versus Stevenage. I've gone with the 1-1 in this one.
Well, I think Vale are in no sort of form. Stevenage, Steve Evans' club, I'm going 2-0 to Stevenage.
2-0 Stevenage, mate. MK Dons, Accrington Stanley. I've gone with the 1-1.
You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get with Aki. They're either very good or very poor, but I think MK 1-0.
MK 1-0. And finally, Donny versus Tranmere.
I know, another extremely vital game. Tranmere picked up a lot since early season. I'm going on the fence again, 1-1.
1-1. I've got us just nicking this one 2-1, and that's out of more hope than judgment, I think. Lee, run through these 5 games, mate. Sheffield Wednesday versus Birmingham.
Shit, I'm going with me. I've got to back them on 2-1 Wednesday. Sorry, John, mate.
Leeds, Rotherham.
Leeds to win 3-0. Stevenage 2-0.
2-0 Stevenage,
Yeah. MK Dons to win 3-1.
Ooh.
And, oh God, this is an hard one. Tranmere to win 2-1. Sorry, Dan.
Are you going to be there?
No, mate, no.
Lovely stuff. So I'll leave them on the screen for a little bit.
Playoffs, so I need a late run.
And also,
Hopefully.
I'm going to next weekend. I'm going to adhere to what the poll said last week and going to Crewe against Crawley.
Oh, looking forward to that. We might get some more polls done in the future, but I need to work out how to do it myself. Proper threw me last week doing that. But yeah, if you are involved in the predictions, get your comments in. Lolo, I know you said that you'll come back on video and put your predictions in later. That's perfectly fine as well. If you want to put it in a comment throughout the week, I do keep a tab of them and I'll input the predictions. So if you don't get them in straight away, just leave a comment and I will make sure to pick them up and put them in the table. So yeah, still a fair few games to go. And I think it's a meal with me at the end of the season. I think that's that's what we decided on. We will see. Right, let's round this off. So episode 60 of the 72 review is now coming to an end. Lee, any final words, mate?
No, glad to get it off my chest and try and put it behind me. It's a new week. We focus on Birmingham. Another top show with a lot of people on the lives. So again, Dan, thank you so much for hosting it, mate. Top work.
No, like I say, mate, it gets a lot off his chest. It's the start of a new week. We can be much more positive, and then it's ruined by 90 minutes of football on Saturday again, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Friday night.
It'll turn for us, boys. We'll have a good season, one season.
Imagine how it'll feel.
Yeah. The thing is, I've enjoyed it again, therapy session done. But the thing is, seasons like this are what make the good times when they do come round even more special. So just carry on supporting your clubs, no matter how rubbish they are. We're gonna have to get Lee a car.
But no, my final words. I just want to send a big thank you to Ian and Lee for spending a lot of time every Sunday coming in and talking football. I want to thank everybody who tunes in to watch. It does make a difference to see the chat really busy and asking questions and stuff. Ultimately, if there's one person watching, we'll continue to do it because it is a bit of a therapy session for us, and we just want to kind of get this chat in a pub sort of feel across to you guys, and hopefully you can get some stuff off your chest as well and feel safe doing so in an environment that allows you to have your say about whatever club it is that you support. So if you do know of any other fans that support any of the other 72, get them involved in it. The more the merrier. But yeah, all that's left for me to say is have a fantastic week. Hopefully it's more positive results for us next weekend and a more positive stream. But yeah, if you've enjoyed it, stick a big thumbs up on it for us. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe to all three of us if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Cheers.